2020 is no doubt a year that we will never forget. For the past few months, our lives have been altered in ways that most of us would have joked will never happen. Early March, I kept thinking to myself, this will pass. This really cannot be that bad. No way will our little town shut down the schools like larger cities, and Rochester is never going to run out of toilet paper. The reality of it all first hit our home when my husband was told to work from home until further notice. About a week later, I remember getting the news that our schools were sending the kids home. Again, I kept telling myself, surely this cannot last more than a few weeks. Fast forward to today, my husband's still working from home, and my kids just finished their final e-learning lesson last Thursday. Yes, I will shamefully admit my earlier predictions of this will not happen to us were wrong. About a month ago, I received a text from my aunt with a link to an article titled, How Infectious Disease Defined the American Bathroom. Clearly, my aunt knows me well because I love a good history lesson and anything involving home design. She was also probably not surprised when it took me a few days to read the article and acknowledge her text. But that one article got me thinking, is it possible that COVID-19 could change home design? So, let's have a quick chat about this article and the history lesson behind it that leads to today's discussion. The article was an interview with Lloyd Alter. Lloyd has been an architect, real estate developer, prefab entrepreneur, and now teaches sustainable design at Ryerson School of Interior Design. He states that if he were building a home today, he'd be sure to add one unusual feature, a bathroom sink in the front vestibule. Quoting, "We're going to see a real resurgence of the vestibule, I think. This is a transition zone from the outside to the inside, where you take off your dirty stuff and you wash your hands before you go into the house." That makes sense, right? Let me also add that my husband and I built our home 4 years ago. About a year into living here, I told him that one regret I had was not having a wash area in our mudroom, something like having a sink in a vestibule. Moving on to the history portion. In the late 1800s, only the wealthy had indoor plumbing. It was as simple as a water tap in the kitchen and later a small sink in the bathroom. They were still using chamber pots and outhouses until around the turn of the century. The rich encased their toilets, sinks, and bathtubs in ornately carved wood, so they appeared as pieces of furniture and masked their true purpose. During the early 1900s, tuberculosis and influenza continued to kill indiscriminately among the classes, and bathroom design began to evolve to stop their spread. The fancy wood tubs, lined with copper and zinc, were the first to go, being replaced with an enamel-coated cast iron, a development introduced by the Kohler Company as a way to make their tubs and other products superior, clean, and hygienic. With its ability to be easily cleaned, enamel became the material for choice among primary bathroom fixtures in both hospitals and private homes. Not only were bathroom designs altered during this time, but the architecture of homes was being changed as well. Without antibiotics, rest, sunlight, and fresh air were the best treatments. Homes soon followed designs originated in hospitals to bring in light, air, and openness. Other changes included removing anything that could not be easily wiped down, washed, or swept. Wooden floors were replaced with tile or a new product called linoleum. Linen replaced heavy drapery for ease of washing and to let in more air and sunlight. Over time, the design of bathrooms continued to evolve with the idea of cleaning easily and finding new ways to keep them as hygienic as possible. Needless to say, this one article sparked my interest, and so began my research on how COVID-19 would change home design trends and architecture. The consensus among designers and architects was the same. This pandemic will likely change how our homes look and function in the years to come. So, what changes are they predicting? Healthier spaces and materials. These include, but are not limited to, UV air treatment, indoor air quality monitoring, viral-resistant surfaces, such as countertops and flooring, self-sanitizing door handles, which currently are available. Who knew? One prediction even stated smart toilets as being the biggest Christmas gift for 2020. Home builders, you may start planning for electrical wiring near the toilets. Pandemic protection. One constant we have been hearing since the start of COVID-19 is hand washing. Think about the number of hands that touch public elevator buttons, doorknobs, light switches, and even your TV remote. The greater demand for voice control devices is and will likely to continue to increase. A greater need to store non-perishables and frozen foods may come back with good storage and smarter pantries. Kitchens designed for more freezer and fridge space, even designated wine and beer storage may become a common norm in the kitchen. More nature connections. Where outdoor space is limited, planting a kitchen garden or container garden will start to rise. An uprise in houseplants that naturally clean the air and add greenery, which has been proven to reduce stress in people. Expanding usability and improving design of outdoor spaces. We'll likely see a lot of new development as well. The addition of the home office and improved technology in this space. In recent years, the home office has disappeared, especially with the growing popularity of open concept homes. Some designers are expecting to see more isolated spaces within the home grow. To work efficiently, a home office cannot be the dining room table or the den. Spaces designed that minimize distractions, including noise control and physical separation, and that are designed for teleconferencing will likely be a growing norm in homes. One of the first articles I read predicted that open concept homes would start to fade. I initially thought, no way. I love my open concept home. How could this trend possibly go away? Well, 3 articles later, more designers and architects were agreeing with this prediction. The prediction is based off of being able to close spaces off. Kitchens being closed off so cooking can be accomplished without distracting others in the house. Most of these predictions I can agree with, but I'm still not convinced on this one. Just as we cannot predict how long it will take for the COVID-19 pandemic to end, we cannot predict the future of the ever-changing design world. These are just some predictions I found interesting and my thoughts on them. Going back to that regret I mentioned about my home earlier, was I predicting the future about a pandemic and the need for a wash area in our mudroom, or just in denial that the sweet babes I was raising had turned into little swamp monsters that carried everything from mud to worms and even the occasional bird into my home?